216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007 if you want to join us live. I'll have your last key to hopefully fire up the Buzzard bike in about 20 minutes. You get one from Rover, you get one from Dan, you get one from me. Every weekday, we're going to be weighing a brand new custom Harley courtesy of Budweiser and MMS. It's going to look awesome. And every day, there are 3 chances for you to grab a key, and one of those will start this thing up. MMS is going to be out doing some key stops as well. I know there's one coming up on Friday somewhere. I don't have that information in front of me. My apologies.
Fairview
What's that?
Fairview?
Yeah, Fairview Tavern. You're right. I'm sorry. In Fairview Park, Fairview Tavern, on Friday from 5 to 7, MMS will be on site. And then next Friday at the Happy Moose in Menor, I think that these are all 5 to 7. So Fairview Tavern this Friday, Happy Moose on the 30th, and then on the 14th of July, Rookie's Pearl in Parma. For people who want to get out there on site. On site. Try to get a key for the Buzzard bike. But the next one for you here is in about 15, 20 minutes. Guardians win last night. Andres Jimenez delivers in the 10th.
Nice.
They had to play extra innings to beat the A's.
Hey.
A win is a win.
Do, right?
A win is a win, but the A's are the worst team in baseball. And last night, it took them 10 innings to break the 2-2 tie. 3-2 was the final over Oakland, but a win is a win. And so they'll play them again tonight, 7:10. You'll hear the first pitch and everything to come after on MMS. They'll wrap the series tomorrow with a 1:10 start, and then they'll stay here at home to host the Milwaukee Brewers Friday, Saturday, Sunday, before they hit the road for a stretch, hit Kansas City and Chicago to play the Cubs. Did you talk to Ted?
I did.
So lay this out for me. So if you're just joining us, the very top of the show, Mary's in the kitchen, and Ted, one of our engineers, comes out of the rack room, which is attached to our kitchen, but it's locked to everyone but the engineers, and they go in there and tinker and do things, and it's where servers are, and they're the only people, frankly, who should be in there. So he comes out, and he goes, "Hey, Mary, I listen to your stand-up." And she goes, "Oh, do you like it?" And he says no. And she goes, "He's got to be kidding."
Right. Well, because he said it was such conviction, and then I laughed, and everyone else laughed, and then he goes, "What did you want me to say to that?"
Was it a nervous laugh on your part, or were you genuinely like, it was funny to you, right?
It was very funny because it caught me off guard. That's not what I was expecting, right?
Right.
So everybody laughed, and then he goes, "What did you want me to say to that?" And then I said, "Well, F me, right?" And I walked out of the kitchen.
Who else was in the kitchen with you?
2 traffic people, Faith Nezovich and Tom.
Tom Moore.
What is it?
Tom Moore?
Moore.
Does news?
Yeah.
For WTAM.
Yes, him. So,
did they laugh?
They laughed. Everybody laughed.
Nervous laughter probably on their part.
I don't know what it was. I genuinely laughed. So I go back in there.
Do you knock on the door? Is it locked?
Well, yeah. So Faith is still in there eating, and I go, "Do you think he was joking?" And she said kind of the same thing you did. She goes, "I think he was, but honestly, engineers are weirdos."
Yes.
She might have
well,
been
they're just
totally serious.
They are literally on a different wavelength. Like they're not, you know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
not dopes like us, talent and things like that. They're there to make sure everything. There's a million things going wrong at any given time.
Yeah.
There's friggin' 9 radio stations with this company, right, in Cleveland. So, okay, so you knock on the door.
So I knock on the door, and he
or was there
opens
like a
it.
little doorbell there?
No, there's just a knock. I knock on the door, and he opens it, and he kind of looks at me, and I go, "Were you messing with me?" And he has like a straight face, and he goes, "Yeah, I was messing with you." Like that.
Mm-hmm.
He gave it an extra second or two before he answered. He's
Now,
like,
do
"No."
you think that he's telling the truth now?
Yes, because he was like, he like specifically said jokes. He's like, "I really liked this
Oh,
joke,
okay.
and I liked when you did your crowd work." Like he's mentioned specifics of the special. So.
That's the thing. A lot of engineers don't have a sense of humor, but the ones that do, it's so bone dry.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
What a needle, bone dry, that you can't tell where they're coming from. All right, go. So he did like it.
Yeah.
Did he?
So,
What did he watch specifically? Just on YouTube?
the special Nothing Matters. That's out right
And
now.
yet we discovered
It matters.
something does matter.
Things do
to Mary
matter.
Santora.
A lot of
Yep.
things matter.
Occasionally they will.
Every now and then, something matters. That'll
Just
be the
every
next
now and then?
album. Something matters. Some things matter.
That's the follow-up.
Yeah.
That'll be the next album.
But yeah, he said he was joking, and then he gave me a couple. Hey, I liked this. I liked that. So.
What if he had said, I don't want to talk about this?
Well, and then I was like, maybe he's
Because
doing
then you're
something
standing
important.
there. You're like, I'm just standing here.
He could have really let it out.
I'm just a girl asking a boy to like my
If
comedy.
he thinks that I'm funny. No, he was funny. He got me, though. It was a good one.
He did get you, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got him.
Yep. See, if Bill had been in that situation, Bill would have been like, all right, cool.
No.
I would have been like, shut up, Ted.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't have. You didn't know his
Have
name.
you
Get
met
back-
Ted?
Get back in your cave, Ted.
Bill would absolutely not care if somebody came out of that room and said, hey, I watch
I
this
don't
stuff.
think
And he would not.
To his face?
Yes.
That's different than the internet.
No. To
I
his
don't
face.
handle any of it well.
To
so
his
I'm on
face.
record as being overreactive.
Well, you haven't had people come into you in public and tell you suck.
I've had variations of it. The one time I was in an elevator, man, this was a few years ago. I had just done Hilarities and I didn't do well. I was hosting, did not go well. And I was in the elevator going back, like in the parking garage. And there was a couple who was at the show and they looked at me and the one guy goes, hey, we just saw you at Hilarities. I was like, oh, thanks. And I was feeling and you know when you bomb, I was feeling kind of bad about it. And he just goes, those other two guys were funny. You should take notes from them. It's just like, thanks, man. Have a good night. Like, because what are you supposed to say?
Yeah, but I'm
You
talking
know?
about, that's at the venue. I'm talking about randos coming up to you randomly in public and saying you suck. I've gotten that.
No, I have never seen. I've
Oh,
never had
that's
that
the
happen.
best. That's fun.
I don't think I've ever had that either.
That's a good time. I haven't had it in a minute, but over the course of my career, I've had that. I got that a lot.
I do get people that will come up to me, and I know that they don't like me, but then they'll act like they like me.
How do you know
Because
they don't
they-
like you?
Yeah, how do
Because
you know
I
that?
I know who they are. Like
You know who they are?
I know, like these are like people that like have interacted online or something like that, and this is like because I know they're like a friend of a friend, and I know they don't like.
But
me.
they're like trolls that you meet in real life?
and then
or-
they'll meet, and they're like, "Oh, big fan," and I'm like, "Okay, if you say so."
You liar.
Yeah.
Tell them that.
Well,
Be
but
like,
maybe
what
they-
about this
No, I
comment?
just go whatever.
Maybe
That's
they
okay.
have been converted since the last time.
No, I'm not worried
maybe they came
about it.
around.
I'm not worried about it. Of course, they're converted
Oh God.
once they see the real life thing.
That's right.
It's,
In the flesh.
Well, there's also so many people that don't like me, not because they don't think I'm funny, but because I stand up for certain things. And so that becomes like a whole thing where, like, if I talk about trans people or gay rights and stuff like this, like, oh, you're so woke. Boo. I'm like, yeah, because I want people to have rights. Sorry.
They don't like you
Yeah.
standing up for
They don't.
underrepresented
they-
individuals.
Yeah, they don't like that. Oh, you're
I'm
just
sorry.
You're just gonna say that black people are maligned. Okay.
I'm sorry. I simply cannot abide that.
Mm-hmm.
You listen to us on iHeartRadio. First of all, thanks. It's
Oh,
not
you're
always
just gonna
easy.
not cheer for the Browns? You're from Cleveland, or at least I thought you were. You're not anymore. Because you're not from Cleveland if you don't cheer for the Browns. Like, all right, my identity's not tied to sports
I
teams.
bet
like
you get
that.
more of that than the other stuff
It's
in
that,
these towns. 50-50.
That's definitely calmed down, but it's still every once in a while you'll get someone mad that I
that you gave
don't
up
wa-
on the
that
Browns.
I don't want to cheer for the Browns because of Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
And again, I never said you can't. I
Well,
just said I won't.
And it's also fair to figure that everyone has their own line for everything.
Right.
And that's yours.
Yeah.
For other people, it's not. But everyone's got a line. You know, those people, I imagine there would be, sports is weird. People are so many people, their whole identities are tied into sports, but even casual fans.
Mhm.
There's got to be, just using sports as an example, there's got to be a line that everyone has where they go, nope, I'm out. I'll hitch my wagon to another store.
And for some people, it's not anything more than just is the team winning or not. And they'll be like, oh, this team's hurt my feelings so many times by not winning that I'm out.
And by the way, for the people giving Mary a hard time, I'm seeing the text here, like, who cares what you should care what every potential fan thinks of your work. I mean, we're playing around here and saying who
Yeah.
cares. I'm talking about strangers online, who cares. But if somebody, like, face to your face, or they go, hey, blah, blah, blah. If a guy in a parking garage...
Coworker.
If a guy in a
You
if a guy in a parking garage goes, you should take notes, that guy's never written a joke in his life. He has no clue how any of it works. So you kind of take it with a grain of salt.
Also, people have no idea how hard hosting is.
Well, and not even that.
Well, but people don't I don't ever care if people. I don't need people to know how the sausage is made. I just
I
want
like
them to
it because
enjoy
I think it gives them more insight.
But they don't. What are they going to do
They
with
don't
that?
care.
They're not They don't care. Like, I could watch a documentary on how to make a rocket, but I'm not going to go out and make a rocket.
I'm not saying you're going to make a rocket, but you can appreciate what goes into making a rocket.
Yeah, but I don't.
That's why people are going to watch Oppenheimer.
I just want people to enjoy the finished product. So if a guy goes, I didn't like it, you go, well, what didn't you like?
Well, here's my thing: is that since being on the show, I am getting better at dismissing negative. Okay, let's
Take
start
two.
over. I'm getting better at dismissing negativity, where it's like, okay, it's not always whatever it might be. Sure, whatever. You're someone on the internet.
Yeah, because
blah,
here
blah,
you get
blah.
a fire hose of it.
Exactly. But when it comes to like face to face, I'm not even really upset if he didn't like my comedy. People aren't going to like me. And being on the show has helped me see that because, of course, in a perfect world, I would want everybody to like me. But you guys, our dear listeners, have made it abundantly clear that is not going to happen. But
And that's why she hates you.
that's why I hate you. I hate you back. No, but like for someone, what caught me off guard was if he truly didn't like it, to just say it to my face. Like that is not something I feel like you run into a
To
lot.
come out of that room that you
Yes.
didn't know anyone
Just
was
to be
in
like,
there.
I don't like you, bye-bye.
Yes, exactly. It was more that caught me off guard than a need for him to like me. It was more like, damn, dude.
It would have been
okay.
great if he had just gone back into that room like Homer back into the hedge.
Yeah,
and
right.
Shut the door because he
Yeah.
heard you out in the kitchen.
Yeah. I got to tell this bitch what I think.
Hey,
That's more of what it was.
Hey, I wish you could have been that funny on stage.
Right.
Yeah. You can leave us messages if you listen on the iHeartRadio app.
Mary, Mary, why you bugging? Podcast listener, Mary was arguing with Alan about the women with zero situational awareness. And Mary, the man was raised with no empathy, basically no soul.
Wow.
So just accept Alan for who he is and adore him like we all do. Hate the show. Love you. Bye.
I mean, potato. I don't know what to tell you. I mean,
But you could learn to have empathy.
listen, nothing she said is incorrect. I don't believe in a soul, and I was not raised with empathy. I was raised in a. My parents are lovely people, but I mean, I was raised in a. If you don't take it, somebody else will. Kind of world. So, I was like, I was 40 when I was a kid, that kind of thing.
Right, but
So, yeah, I didn't grow up in an empathetic household.
you can learn empathy. That's like when people use the excuse to be like, oh, well, my pappy was racist and that's just how I was raised.
No.
You know what I mean?
Guys, make no mistake. The listeners, you guys, you know me at my most empathetic.
Okay, so you're saying there has been progress.
Absolutely.
Okay.
If you're not making progress, you better just throw a belt over the curtain rod and,
Got it.
Yeah, of course.
That was a very empathetic statement.
See? As far as a soul
If you're not
goes,
making progress, kill yourself.
yeah, I think that well, what's the point? You spin your wheels the rest of your life? Sit there with your thumb up
And
your
some
ass?
people like not. That's true empathy is going, hey, if you don't want to make progress, that's fine too.
Well, that is fine. That is fine. I will have zero in common with you, and I see no point in talking to you. But, and again, I don't believe in a soul. So for her to say he has no soul, I know that's a value judgment on her part. I don't take that as an insult. I mean,
I've actually been doing a lot of thinking about souls, and
spoiler, they don't exist.
and I
To
still
you.
agree that
No,
they don't
to
exist.
science, they do not.
To you.
They don't.
It's just your brain, lady.
No, that's right. Yeah.
That's okay. That's fine.
And again, there's nothing wrong with maintaining that illusion. I think whatever makes somebody, everybody's just trying to get by, man.
Right.
And I think as long as you're not making life tough for other people, you should do whatever you got to do to get by. You should, whatever key unlocks that lock, you should do it.
But you've never had your soul crushed? Like you've never...
I don't believe in a soul, so no.
He's had his. Well, you don't have feelings either.
I do have feelings.
He's had
He's got
his
feelings.
I have a lot of
crushed.
feelings. I have a lot of feelings. It's just that we are in a place now where everybody's telling you their feelings all the time. And so you look at somebody like me who is not constantly, broadcasting them in the general sense. And somebody goes, well, this guy doesn't feel like that would be ridiculous. Who doesn't have any feelings? Of course I have feelings. I have 3 children. I have a wife, for Christ's sake. Of course, you don't walk around soulless with no feelings and attract other people to you.
I'm becoming a lot like Mary a lot sooner in my relationship because she already said that Brian is tired of her having mental breakdowns twice a week. I need to learn to stop complaining so much because I can feel myself being annoying.
Yeah.
And my boyfriend is far too nice to tell me. And I think it's probably early on in the relationship too, where he's like,
Give it 3 years.
That's
You
what
3
live
years.
together.
Give it a few months.
And he'll say, You gotta stop.
Yeah.
I'm making it like a point to like not complain because like he'll text me and I'm like, oh, good morning, and I go through like the annoying stuff I have to do today, and then I'm
With
like,
him?
Like he'll text him.
or text him or call him. Like if I'm talking to him, I'll just tell him about everything that went wrong about the day and not.
That's where
everything
you'll
that went
start?
right. Yes.
Or you'll start with, how are you?
Well, I say, how are you, babe? And he's like, oh, yeah, how's your day going? Oh, you're never going to believe
Let
it.
me
Alan's
tell you
getting
all
the hell on
about
my
it,
nerve.
right?
Like,
Wait. So this show is what's
No.
stressing you out? I mean,
No,
you're
that's-
saying
He's giving an example.
I was,
okay, all right. I know you're trying to move and stuff. I imagine it's more focused on that.
Yeah, it's just
that stuff.
juggling many hats. It's just I got a lot on my plate, and so instead of just telling
Juggling many
Let
hats?
it go.
Juggling many hats.
him wearing many hats,
The Germans invaded Pearl Harbor? Let him go.
It's
He's
a
on a roll.
top hat juggling routine, and it's really underrated. All
I want
right.
to see which
Oh,
one.
His
It is.
man.
hand on his head.
It's like on the Ted Mack Amateur Hour or something. All
The
right.
best part of that is when he started doing like an act out of him juggling.
Yes.
His computer lagged, or like
Oh,
his
yeah.
camera lagged, so it looked like he had like the many arms of Vishnu.
There you go. He's got a lot of
Juggling
hats.
a lot of hats.
Yes.
It's fine.
Yep.
What's the actual term? Juggling a lot of plates? What is that?
You got a lot of plates
Well,
in the
you're
air, yes.
spinning a lot of
Spinning a
plates.
lot of plates.
Yep.
So what's the juggling one? Do I
You're
know?
wearing many hats.
Wearing
is
many
kind
hats?
of like
Wearing
a
many
jack of
hats.
all
Yep.
trades. That doesn't really apply.
Keep a lot of
here.
plates spinning in the air. We understand. We're breaking your balls, but
No,
we,
I know.
obviously we understand what you mean.
But yeah, so I can feel myself being annoyed. Like, okay, life is hard. Like, you don't have to complain about every little thing. I'm like, can you believe I ran late today because my Uber Eats order was late? Blah, blah, blah. Like, so it's just stuff like that. So I have to remind myself, I'm like, I don't want to
White people problems.
drive this guy away. I don't want him to run away. So all because I'm complaining.
No, but you know what? I think if it's a healthy situation, he'll tell you and he'll feel comfortable telling you, hey, and like I said yesterday, you got to let your woman or your guy, your significant other, you got to let them scoop some out of you after a while.
Yeah.
What do you mean scoop somebody?
Everybody thinks that they don't need to change or whatever. Everybody's got to change somehow, right?
Yes.
Not in a way that makes you feel not who you are, but you got to let another person see you and go, there's a couple things here you could do without that might make you happier. Like my wife had to scoop a lot out of me, and I'm better for it. So if you guys are, it's not a fait accompli that he's going to go, I'm out because you complain too much. That would be silly.
Well,
He might just go, hey, listen. How about
What
if
if
we
you tried therapy
Hey,
or
wha-
journaling?
Well, not even that. Just like, hey, maybe don't, fire off a litany of really stupid, minuscule details that are
But
driving you nuts.
I, like Mary, am a soul where I feel like getting
No
it
soul.
out. There's a soul. I have a soul.
No soul.
I have a soul.
Listen, we're
You
allowed
don't
to
have a
believe
soul.
what we want. We're not hurting anybody.
I have
by
to get
believing
it off
that.
my chest. So I didn't want to complain to him, so I'm still gonna complain. It's in my nature to complain. So I call someone else. I don't call him. I call my mom, or I call my girl best friend, or someone else who I know is going through the struggle, going through the grind. Someone who I know is probably broke or going through it. I'm like, listen, I got a story for you, and I want you to tell me if I'm freaking out or not. So that way, I don't ruin anybody's day.
He's keeping a lot of balls in the air. Is that what he was?
There you go.
Right?
How much can you do?
Hey, I got that Buzzard bike key for you.
Grab a hole and juggle. All those balls in the air.
If you want a key that might fire up this custom Harley from MMS and Budweiser, call her 10 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007. Good luck.